Let's get the high-tech stories of the week with Paul Brislen, twitter.com/Paul Brislen. Morning, Paul.
Good morning, how are you?
Morning, very good. First up, a report that's just been released this week that suggests that New Zealanders are happy to get ultra-fast broadband, but we just don't want to pay for it.
Yeah, that's right. The Commerce Commission's holding a big conference in a few weeks' time into barriers that may stop people from signing up for ultra-fast broadband when we roll out this fibre network in the next few years. And they've conducted a survey, got some big-name companies to conduct this survey of home users and small business and said, what do you reckon? Do you want it? And most people went, oh, yeah. And the next question was, how much would you pay for it? And 70% of people said, no more than $10 a month more than I'm paying today.
Okay.
Right. So that sort of makes everybody sit up and go, ooh, bugger. But, of course, we knew this going in. If there was an overwhelming urge to pay more for it, then commercial entities would have been rolling this out already.
Yeah.
So that's why the government's involved. But more importantly, it's the wrong question. Nobody wants internet. Nobody wants broadband. I mean, you and I will sign up because we're geeks. But for the vast majority of people, they get internet already. Why do I need a faster one? It's all good. If you say to them, however, would you like high-definition streaming video at 1080p straight to the television for $10 a month? They'll go, oh, yes, I'll have that. And then would you like really cheap international toll calls and no charge for phone calls within New Zealand? Oh, yes, I'll have that too. Yeah. People will pay for these services. It's not broadband as an end product. Broadband's the medium that lets us do all these cool things, and that's what people will buy.
But on the other hand, why should we pay more? Why can't we just pay the same when all we're really doing is creating a new standard of broadband in New Zealand?
Well, we are, and initially that's exactly what will happen. So the entry level product is at least double the speed that I get today download, and vastly more upload speed. And for that, I would expect to pay the same price that I pay today. Yeah. I certainly wouldn't be paying any more. And the pricing at a wholesale level, because remember we haven't seen very many of the retail prices yet. But at a wholesale level, that entry-level price plan, the 30 megabits a second download and 10 up, is priced at the same as or below copper is today. So we shouldn't be paying any more for that.
Because surely the purpose of this wasn't to gouge more money out of New Zealanders. It was just to bring us up to a higher standard.
Well, that's exactly right. And that's the results, I don't want to pay any more for it. That's quite understandable. But the beauty is that, of course, you'll be able to do that much more with it. And then once you get to do more with it, people will start to say, well, hang on, maybe I do need 100 megabits a second, because suddenly there's all this video content. The kids are Skyping grandma over Connect on their Xbox. All that kind of thing will start to take off. And then people will want more. So it's kind of a chicken and an egg scenario, really. But the thing is, we've never, ever been able to sell internet access to anybody other than the geeks. Geeks love it. That's what they want. Everybody else sits there saying, "Yeah, it's all right. I don't value it that much." They'll pay $100 a month for Sky TV, but they won't pay an extra $100 a month for broadband. However, that paradigm will change as people start to realise you can do stuff with it.
Well, you know why we need this 100 megabits a second? It's because Google is starting a cloud storage service, a cloud drive, if you will, or a mega Google or a Google megaload.
GoogleMegaUpload.com mansion thing. Now this is quite astounding, isn't it? So Mega Upload gets shut down, thrown to the ground and handcuffed, dragged screaming and locked up and refused bail because he's a dangerous criminal. Yeah. And Google says, yeah, we'll have a bit of that. We'll launch one of them. That sounds bonza.
Yeah.
So I'm waiting to see Larry and Sergey and all the others wrestled to the ground by armed federal marshals. And that should be really quite entertaining, because I imagine Google has the wherewithal to fight back quite significantly.
Well, that's right, and of course, it's pretty much the same sort of service as Dropbox that Apple also provides, but of course the same as Mega Upload was providing. Photos, documents, videos in the cloud.
That's where it's all going.
And I'd imagine the ability there to share those files around as well.
Exactly. And there's no doubt going to be a price tiering model and a tiered pricing model, I should say. God, I'm getting spoonerisms coming left, right, and centre today. That will allow you to pay more and presumably have private file lockers and all the rest of it. and at that point, I'm sure the FBI will raid them. We could probably send a couple of chopper loads full of cops over to help out because they're quite good at it now.
I tell you what, I need personally. I need it. Often I use the Google Document service just to store audio files and stuff that I need to get from one space to another space.
That's right.
I do that all the time, so I actually use Google in this way anyway, and it'd be great to have that specific service from there.
Exactly, and when you combine it with Google Docs, with your Google Locations, with Google Maps and all the rest of it, once you start to integrate all of that kind of thing, you're really starting to get some serious power going with regard to just what you can do with it, and relatively cheaply too, I would imagine. So on the one hand, it's a good thing. On the other hand, it'll be front page news when they come out with the little twisty cups on, having been tasered by angry police dogs because they're stealing copyright material. Other
big news, the FBI have released their file on Steve Jobs. The headline says, "A deceptive individual."
This is really quite remarkable reading. I mean, I haven't read terribly many of these kinds of things before, but whose website am I stealing all of this from at the moment? Gawker. As Gawker says, normally what you do when you're being investigated by the FBI, this is because Steve was applying to be an appointee on a government panel. So they do a background check, and normally they say, "Steve, who should we interview?" And he says, "Oh, my mum, and John I went to college with, and my flatmate Susie, she was really nice. Yeah, go and interview them." And normally you get quite bland comments. These are not bland. These are either Steve didn't know who his friends are, or the FBI search is a wee bit more comprehensive than that.
Now, there's a reason.
They're amazing.
Well, there's a reason why they have the file on him in the first place, because they were conducting an investigation when Jobs was being considered for an appointment to the President's Export Council in the Bush White House administration.
So that is fairly high-powered. They will be doing a lot of digging with that regard. But some of the comments are astounding. This person stated that Mr. Jobs has integrity, as long as he gets his way.
Where knew that?
Someone else advised he is no longer friends with Mr. Jobs. He feels bitter towards and alienated by Mr. Jobs based on his association with him. He characterized him as an honest and trustworthy individual. However, his moral character is questionable. And somebody else, she seemed really unhappy. She questioned his ethics and morality, but it said that, of course, you don't necessarily need to have those if you're going to have a high-level position within government.
Especially in the Bush administration.
It's just astounding. I didn't realise, though, that Steve had top security clearance that he received many years ago. It doesn't say why he needed it or why he was granted it, but apparently in the late 80s he was given top secret clearance.
There you go.
Goodness.
Yeah.
Golly.
I also didn't know about his top secret product, the iCentipede or iPad Centipede.
Did you watch that last night? Did you? My godfathers. He's not even cold in the ground yet, South Park. And here we are. That was really quite remarkable. But I must say that end-user license agreements, EULAs, the ones that nobody reads, this is why you should read them.
That's right.
Very carefully. Don't agree to anything.
It's all in the fine print on the iTunes store there. It's all in the fine print. Go check it out.
Exactly.
Go check out that episode with Steve Jobs starring in South Park.
I didn't know where to look.
Excellent, Paul. Continue the conversation with you on Twitter, twitter.com/Paul Brislen. Cheers.
Thanks a lot.
It's now 20 minutes past 9.